Imagine this. You just bought your dream car, something worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. You watch it get loaded onto a professional transport truck, safe and sound, and then it just vanishes. This isn't a movie plot. It's a brand new wave of high-tech car theft, and it's all hiding in plain sight. So, our story starts with a guy named Sam Czar. He runs a luxury car rental business in Detroit, and he just found the absolute perfect car for his fleet. I mean, look at this thing. A stunning Rolls-Royce Dawn. All he had to do was get it shipped from Miami, where he bought it, up to Detroit. Simple, right? And the process, well, it seemed totally normal. His team posted the shipping job on Central Dispatch, which is basically the go-to website for this stuff. A transport company calls, they agree on a price, and Zahar is right there, watching his prized Rolls get loaded into a nice, enclosed trailer. Everything looked legit. He figured he'd see his car in a few days. But it never showed up. The delivery date came and went. That perfect car, the one he literally watched get loaded onto a truck, it had completely disappeared. Okay, so as you can imagine, Sam Zahar is starting to panic. He immediately calls his contact at the transport company, trying to figure out what's going on. You know, he's expecting maybe a delay, some excuse. But what he got instead was a total shock. The guy on the other end of the line was completely confused and angry. He told Zahar they mostly ship Coca-Cola products, not $500,000 cars. He was yelling. And in that one moment, it hits Zahar. He wasn't dealing with a late driver. He had been sucked into a really sophisticated scam on a platform he thought he could trust. And that is the really scary part. It turns out Zahar's vanishing Rolls-Royce wasn't just a one-off thing. He had accidentally stumbled into a massive criminal operation that's been causing chaos all across the country. An enterprise with a very memorable name. Yeah, this isn't your classic hot-wiring a car in a dark alley kind of theft. Think of it more as a white-collar crime with a very grand theft auto result. These criminals are using phishing emails and fake documents to basically steal the identity of a real company. Then, once you hire them, they just drive off with your car. So you can see the difference here. A legit company, they've got verified government numbers, secure accounts, all that good stuff. The criminals, they live in the shadows. They're using hacked accounts, burner IDs, and this really clever trick that actually puts an innocent person right in the middle of the crime. The secret sauce to this whole scam is something called malicious double brokering. Here's how it works. The thief accepts the job to ship your car from, let's say, Miami to Detroit. But then, using a totally different fake identity, they repost that same job, but with a new destination, like a random parking lot just a few miles away. A completely innocent, legitimate driver takes that second job, picks up the car, and delivers it right to the thieves, with no idea they just acted as the getaway driver. And the industry has a nickname for these criminals, the flip-flop Mafia. It's actually got a double meaning. First, apparently the guys who show up to grab the stolen cars are super casual, wearing flip-flops and slides. But second, and this is the important part, it refers to how they constantly flip between different fake or hacked company profiles to stay one step ahead of the law. Another guy who got hit by this scam, an exotic car dealer named Travis Payne, he put it perfectly. For these thieves, the risk is incredibly low, and the reward is, well, it's huge. A few phone calls, a few emails, and suddenly you have a $400,000 car for free. As he said, it makes them feel like gods. So we've seen how they do it. But now let's talk about just how big this problem really is, because honestly, the scale of this whole thing is just staggering. Since just the spring of 2024, experts think that around 8,000 high-end and exotic cars have been stolen this way. To put that in perspective, that's about 30 cars a day just vanishing. And the total cost? It's estimated to be over $1 billion. And this doesn't just hurt the owners. It's a massive hit to dealerships, to insurance companies, to the whole shipping industry. And nobody, it seems, is safe from these guys. They are bold enough to go after celebrities. NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal lost a custom Range Rover. Baseball star Chris Bryant had his Lamborghini disappear. And the singer Ray J lost 2 Maybachs. I mean, when you're brazen enough to steal from Shaq, you're clearly not afraid of anyone. So let's get back to Sam Czar's stolen Rolls-Royce. See, his police report didn't just end up in a file cabinet. It actually kicked off a huge investigation down in Miami. The police started connecting the dots and realized this was a pattern. So they decided to set a trap. So the police found that innocent driver, the one who unknowingly delivered Zahar's rolls to the bad guys. And get this, he had another job lined up for the same client, picking up this gorgeous $250,000 orange Lamborghini. The driver agreed to help the police, and just like that, the Lamborghini became the bait. And the drop-off location wasn't some sketchy, deserted warehouse. No, it was a busy, upscale shopping mall in Aventura, Florida. These guys were planning to pick up a stolen supercar in the middle of the day, right next to restaurants and grocery stores. The sheer audacity is just incredible. The goal here was pretty straightforward. Just lure the criminals out into the open and catch them red-handed as they tried to take possession of that Lamborghini. And here is how it all went down. At 4 p.m., the bait car is in place. 30 minutes later, a green Rolls-Royce shows up. Its occupants are clearly doing counter-surveillance, scoping out the scene. Then a Bentley arrives. The driver gets some cash from the guys in the Rolls, walks over to the truck driver, hands him $700, and takes the keys to the Lambo. The second those keys changed hands, bam! Over a dozen cops swarm the scene and 3 people are arrested. They got him. Now, that sting was a big win, for sure. But it was really just one battle in a much, much bigger war. What the arrest really did was shine a light on just how vulnerable the whole system is, leaving an entire industry feeling like it's under attack. When the police searched the guys they arrested, they found things like a GPS jammer, which is perfect for disabling a car's tracker. Their full toolkit is this wild mix of high-tech stuff like key fob reprogrammers and old-school tricks like blank VIN stickers. In the hands of an expert, this gear can make a stolen car completely untraceable in less than an hour. But here's the thing. Catching these guys is one thing, but actually prosecuting them? That's a whole other challenge. A defense attorney for one of the men arrested basically said all they got was 3 schmucks. And in a really bizarre twist, his client, who is an Armenian national, took a plea deal, got deported, and now he doesn't have to testify against the other 2. It's a legal loophole that could weaken the whole case. And all of this brings us to one final big question. The very online platforms that made shipping a car so easy and efficient, they also created the loopholes that the flip-flop mafia slipped right through. Now the industry is scrambling to add more security, things like 2-factor authentication. But the criminals, they're always finding new tricks. So you have to wonder, in this high-stakes technological race between innovation and crime, who's actually winning?